So I'm here with Popa Duck. He's a stage play writer and he is also a filmmaker from Detroit. Tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up in Detroit.
Um, Growing up here in Detroit, for me, has always been a challenge. And it's strictly because of my era. I come from the 70s. I'm a 70s kid. And in the 70s and how we grew up, everybody around you was either poor along with you or they was trying to live amongst their means. So the era that I grew up in, where there was free lunch programs, stuff like that, uh, church, that would give you meals or whatever. We went to those functions, what I'm saying, strictly because of that, where a lot of people just went for the experience. We went for the meal. So everything I ever faced that I grew up in was a challenge,
Right.
so and how I handled it and how people say overcome it, because my house was my mother and father used drugs. So my
Wow.
house was a shooting gallery. You know what I'm saying? You got 10, 15 motherfuckers coming in and out the house a day, just to get shot up. My mother was considered the neighborhood RN. She could find a vein on a dope fiend where nobody could. So my house was motion like that. So any chance that I had growing up, I was always told he ain't on amount to nothing. He
Wow.
ain't gonna beat shit, because look at his mom and his daddy. What you expect type shit, you know.
How did that
Uh,
affect your self-esteem? Because I imagine that wouldn't be healthy for like a person experiencing that, in an environment where now like you're obviously a productive person like who's creating art and stuff. Like how do you grow to be like a rose from concrete?
well, and that's something that I placed in one of my plays, Mama's Boy, The Making of a Man. And it was one of the phrases, you're about to witness how a rose can blossom from a pile of shit, you know? When, let me say it, start from the beginning, man. As far as I can go back, I always was some type of entertainer, okay? Dancing to James Brown and Michael Jackson, Jackson 5s, whatever, to where I'm doing duets. I'm watching my cousins do duets and shit on the corners. This is the 70s. And my awareness of I want to be on the television. I want to do this. From 5 years old, I never left the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kindergarten, And I recall, in the second grade that the teacher had a 2-page like long story about Frederick Douglass. And we had to read it, to the people, off the page. And when you just like 6, 7 years old, man, just learning how to read, and I knew I couldn't keep up because I'm still trying to figure these words out. And Frederick Douglass was a good man, and we supposed to all say it in sequence. You know what I'm saying? And I was never the one that was able to do that. But what happened was I went home and I took the paper and I studied it. I memorized it. So when I came to school to do it, I had the paper balled up in my hand while everybody else was reading. And I just was, off the dome. I knew every word. I studied every word. And my mama was like, and I was like, wait a minute. He's sitting up in the front row with the paper balled up in his hand. I'm looking in the crowd like I'm preaching it instead of just reading off the paper. And from that point on, I never left the stage. So when I say my journey was hard, because there was no support system. You know, I did. My journey was hard, man. I ran away at 13. I was a crackhead at 15.
Wow.
You know, yeah, man. My journey was hard, man. And the thing was of it all was because I come from this home of addiction. You feel what I'm saying? When I ran away at 13, man, I'm on these streets. I'm, pillar to post. I end up selling drugs. Green to this shit. Niggas sprinkle cocaine on my reefer. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm smoking these 51s. And, by the time I was 17, I'm hitting the pipe. By 20, I'm in the prison. So I was gave up on, But right before I went, and I have a play, I'm gonna sing you this play, Mama's Boy, The Making of a Man. It's the story of my life, man. It's a story that I'm telling you from beginning to end. I love the way it's told, but I don't think I ever can do it again because it's so emotional. But it's a scene in there where I actually snatched the purse of my godmother, man. And she didn't know it was me, but she felt it was me. Like I can't, but then, no, you know what I'm saying? And, everybody was saying he ain't shit, he ain't gonna amount to shit, you ain't gonna be shit. But when my mother had this conversation with me, man, and it goes on for you here where the transformation came. My mother said, of all the things in the world you could be and you wanted to be, this is what you become. She said, I remember you saying you wanted to be an artist. I remember she said you wanted to be on television. Remember you told me you wanted to do cartoons. Remember you said you want to do your own music. Remember you said you want to have your own television show one day. Do you remember these conversations, boy? When I was just a youth. And I said, but mama, what you expect? I'm just a product of my environment. Okay? Me in prison, me go to prison, 19, 20 years old. Okay? She dies while I'm in prison. I can't see her, can't come home, to prove myself because she's gone.
Right.
And that was a transformation.
Mm.
So when I came out of prison, I said, I'm gonna be everything my mama wanted in her son. See, and it started with the music. See, I'm the real Popa Doc from 8 Mile.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, can you talk about like, the difference between your character in the movie and like, you as the person, like, and then just like a little bit about your experiences like with Eminem in like real life.
Well, the thing is with M is that I never battled him per se.
Okay.
When we was out here doing these battles, see, I think I'm really the motherfuckers, I think I created battle rap. Because when I came home, motherfuckers wasn't battle rapping. I come home from penitentiary, motherfuckers was not battle rapping. I was challenging any motherfucker who thought they can rap because that's what we did on the yard.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So if you look at the movie, it say Detroit, Michigan, January 1995. I came home January the 2nd, 1995. My mother had died November 94. They buried her after Thanksgiving. So by the time I came home, it was only 33 days before she was buried. So when I came out that day, I came on a mission. Mm-hmm. By June, I was working with Anita Baker's producer, Michael Powell, and was on the Bushman soundtrack down here. He's a radio personality, big at the time, but now he's faded, but he's still on the radio. But Bushman was the biggest radio personality at the time. And he had this call-in thing, it's the roll call.
Right.
So people call in on the Detroit stations and, spit your hot 16 or whatever. And if you good, he play your shit the next day.
Okay.
See, then I gotta run. you know, because every day I was fresh off the dome with some shit. And then we went to record the album. He wanted a single for that. That come on for 6 months. But then a nigga violated my daughter, and I'm in that time I'm going in and out these clubs, man, killing them. That was my thing. You know, I lived in the club. I quit my job and whatever. I was going to be everything my mother wanted in her son. Motherfucker violated my daughter. I shoot the motherfucker, go to jail again. Now M is making a rise. You feel what I'm saying? But they was only, I was bumping into them in clubs as the Dirty Dozen, D12. You know, it was never him alone by himself. It was a group.
Like, so in the movie is the Leaders of the Free World. What was your clique called in real life?
Duck This.
Okay.
Duck This. And see, my clique was thick, man, because I was on the radio and everything and making a name for myself. My mama's sisters and them was coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he came out of jail. These was the same people that didn't want me at their house because of how I was before I went to jail. You know what I'm saying? But now he making, you know, an effort. And my sister gone and we gonna support him. So I came in with not only just friends, but I came in with cousins, my aunties and them. You feel what I'm saying? They wearing mink coats and shit, nigga. We coming this bitch thick because they seen where I was headed. But once I end up shooting my man, you know, and caught this attempt murder, you know, I ain't gonna say it detoured where I was headed.
Right.
Because my
put you on a different path.
Yeah, man, because I had to save the life of my kids. You know what I'm saying? That was more important at the time, man. And I ended up getting my mother. She died, and she left a 4-year-old. So I had to get my little brother too. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm a single father, and Proof used to fuck with me, you know, whenever I could bump into him, because he'd see me on the rap circuit. So when I bumped into him at the State Theater, now it's the Fillmore here in Detroit, but it's the State Theater. And he was like, man, you got to come fuck with it, man. You know, we finna do this burning house scene. I think it was in Highland Park or whatever. But I was like, man, I can't, man. He's like, man, even though I want you to know you're supposed to be you in the movie, man. But if you can just, you know, make a cameo, like all the Detroit rappers was, Miss Corona, Mac, it was a bunch of them that was making cameos, you know what I'm saying? But I was a father, you know what I'm saying? And I was only coming because a person told me, like, man, you don't know what you're missing. That's how I ended up at the State Theater. Just, you know, because I was out of the game and nigga trying to feed me back into it. So make a long story short, man, when I started doing the music, again, my kids was older. It was teenagers now. But during the time they tender with them, they say, Daddy, bust a rap for me. Daddy, say a rap for my friend. I told you my daddy can rap. I told you this because I was. And he was like, Daddy, you all need to get back into it. They all of them say, Daddy, get back into it. So when I decided to get back into it, I'm at 34, 35, man. You know, so I felt like I'm not seeking a record deal. So I decided to create my own label. And then I reached out to these are genuine friends and partners and brothers I grew up with. So I go to Hardhead and Greedy, and Hardhead and Greedy is, see, before I went to prison, when I'm rapping and everything, I'm on cable doing my thing. Yeah, I wasn't just out here just getting high, but I was an aspiring artist then. We had the Riverside Hardheads. Okay, when I come home, we no longer Riverside Hardheads, but we have this new group that's in our hood called Hardhead and Greedy. And these are my little brothers, man. I love them, all of them, man. I love them all. We all have different history points with one another. But I was so impressed with them, and they strive, and they acknowledgement to the game, that I said, I need y'all assistance. So there emerged Black Jesus, you know, because Black did, I'm gonna say 45% of the album production of Duck, the real Papa. Hardhead can really contribute. This is his group that he's in, contribute, I'm gonna say 60% of the album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because these are my brothers, and they influenced in the game, and they opening up their studio. Yeah, I realize Black running the studio, and for them to, you know, this is our family. You know what I'm saying? That I was there every day, you know, to complete this album. And once the album come out, it was also Black Jesus who introduced me to my partner that I'm with now, making the movies with.
Wow.
We're talking 20 years ago.
Okay.
When Black had this video, it's still one of my favorite videos, man, of all times, man. It's in my top 25. The World Is Yours. And how he shot the video and how he constructed that video, I was so impressed. Yeah. You know, to Black introduced me to my partner Boudin.
Okay.
Yeah. Boudin is the one who shot Black's video.
Right. Yeah. I know.
So once you know, I got with him, my vision for my video, you know, was, you know, like an action movie. I can send it to you. It's like an action movie. Black and them all in it, you know. And in fact, I think either Black or Geesh Dan produced that track. The Hardheads. I think it's either Black or Geesh Dan. I believe it's Black who produced that track. But I shot the video with, you know, with all of them in the video. We did our thing. And, you know, me and my wife had got into it about where I was going with this music and disregarding her, you know. So that becomes a big argument to where I'm putting videos on these shows that I won't watch. And it led to an argument saying, you don't even watch that shit. All the money you spend on that, you can do it your damn self. And bam, I end up starting my own television show called The Video Shop, where I showcase and highlight Detroit's talent in our community. That went on for 10 years, man. Okay. Wow. I got plaques. I got all kind of awards for that. You know what I'm saying?
How did you get into theater?
The theater was because, and I'm going to break it down to you. When I went to Hawaii, and I no longer wanted to do this TV show because I didn't like the music and where it was going. So it gave me a change of heart of how I felt about the hip hop that was coming on in Detroit. Okay. So when I came back, my partner said, I know you tired of doing the show because it shows in your face, right? Because he said, man, you can't hide it no more. You know, when the person say, man, how you like my song or how you like the video, the look I give them, he said, man, they're going to want to fight you if they see it on television because you get that, man, I ain't going to be the one to judge, man. Let the audience do that, man. But you can show in your face like, man, that shit is trash. So he said, what you going to do? I decided to write a book. Okay, this is how it all started. And I can see I've done 8 plays. And I can see the first one to let you see how that transformed into the rest. What happened was, when I got the end of the book, it was called Cloud 9, The Fall of a Kingpin. Okay, it's about my uncle. So when I got to the end, I said, man, niggas is not going to read this book. right? So I started doing plays I'm doing plays for a lot of people in between this time. Let me say that. They're here, there, I'm doing plays. People want me and they play. Because I remember, let's go back to the second grade when I memorized that the paper. So when a person give me they script, I memorized the script so well to where when I come to the rehearsals, I ain't got a script.
Wow.
Everybody reading from the book. I don't ever do that. I don't
Yeah,
never do
yeah.
that.
Just getting off book.
So
It's like, I'm an actor myself, and like once you get off book, you're free. It's like
yeah, you're
you
free.
be able
You're free
to
to learn the direction. Yeah. Here come the acting part.
yeah.
Because you have to bring them words to life and make it believable. So I was so good that once I read it and got it, I knew how I wanted this character to deliver it. You know, I'm emphasized when I'm coming in and taking off my coat, throwing it down, kicking my shoes off, talking to them any kind of way, because they like, wait a minute, now that's good.
Yeah.
Because they expect me to come in the door and just stand there and deliver the lines. I said, that ain't acting. Because
Yeah.
that's what everybody else did in these people's production. I'm going to say it again. That's what everybody else did in these people's production. So that didn't make the production look like shit to me.
Yeah.
So I come home with a grievance. Even though I got paid well, I was like, man, these plays is garbage.
Right.
I said, man, they not telling stories. The actor's not doing this. Da, da, da. I said, I should do my own. And the person said, you don't know how to write no damn play. I said, I'm the best storyteller you ever heard in your life, because the story that I'm going to tell is true.
Right.
I'm going to tell you the story about the time with this or this or this happened. And say, oh my God. And the thing is, she said, well, what would it be about? I said, I could write about any motherfucker thing. I could write about the goddamn mailman. And that was my very first play, because she said, what would it be about? Now, I only told the story at the time that the mailman saved my mama. Oh. And how my daddy been together for 20 years ended when the mailman intervened. You feel what I'm saying? Like he gave her a purpose. You know, you can go clean yourself up. You don't need this type of nigga, you feel me? After the nigga been beating on her for years. But the mailman is the motherfucker who happened to recognize it when he delivered the mail. Because they had a friendship. You feel what I'm saying? So the play became, unbelievable, man. Because he didn't think I could do it. But when I did it, I built my own set, because I don't think nobody can do the blueprint to my idea unless I have my hands in it. I wanted the actors, every actor that I ever put in place, I played their part for them. So they get it. I'm talking about kids, to the old lady. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at the play, I Sent You Flowers, she's not an old lady. Okay, she's not, well, she's older now. She's almost 50, but Teresa, she take off that wig and shit, hair long, glamorous, but I had to teach her the demeanor. Right. I had to teach her the approach. Everybody who comes to my production, because I watch how they would come in and just memorize the lines, but not act them out. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So that got me more involved into theater, because when you see plays like Cloud Nine, The Mama's Boy, The Making of a Man, I'm making everybody cry. I'm going to take you on an emotional roller coaster. You're going to feel this movie. You're going to feel this moment. You know what I'm saying? So
you mentioned a really good point, and that brings up the idea of being a director in theater. Do you have to adapt when you do film, because you have a film?
Of course you do. And that's what I was going to get to next, because theater is way different than cinema. Right. When you're doing theater, you have to project so the person in the 25th row can see what's going on and really take part of what this production is about. Sure. Where in cinema, the camera's in your face. So I have to be with the right expressions, right? The right demeanor. It's like if I'm watching a movie and two people engage, but that third person that's in the picture, I'm wondering what the fuck he doing. because he can make it not appear to be real. Or he can throw the people off from the dialogue if he's not showing he's engaged with this, this scene. Because some people, you can watch them, I watch them in theater where they thinking. I'm in a scene with them and I'm looking them in their face and I'm doing my delivery and they thinking. They forgetting what they're trying to calculate what they're supposed to say next. You know what I'm saying? And it shows in your face in cinema. So me getting into theater was that purpose. And then the pandemic happened. I was on play number 8, and then the pandemic happened. But The Flowers was the last play. Okay? Standing ovation, the whole 9. And after Flowers, when the pandemic happened, I couldn't gather everybody in the theaters no more. I always do 700, 800 strong. I was going up to, man, we had went from my first play I did, The Mailman, we did 225, then the next show was 350. We brought it back, it sold out, 750 seats. So now Mama's Boy come, they go 690 seats. Then he come Cloud 9, they go 750 seats. You feel what I'm saying? I'm building. So when I did Flowers, we standing room only. So after I did that, when the pandemic happened right after that. So what I did was I said, because it's fresh on y'all mind, let's film the movie. Let me put you in the setting and we're going to shoot the movie. But what took the movie so long is because I taking the theater out of them and putting it into cinema because they still overacting. They know the lines, but they don't know how to act. Settle them down and get them to the point where the comfortability of delivering a role as if it's just a natural thing that you're doing in life.
Definitely. Who are some of your favorite actors? People and stuff that you've seen on the screen over the years that you've been particularly inspired. Is there any roles that come to mind or actors?
I'm going to say, man, all of them comedians. Comedians have always been the greatest actors to me. Starting off with, say, Richard Pryor.
For sure.
For him to play multiple roles, okay? Yeah. Then you got your Eddie Murphys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you also have your Robert Williams.
Wow, yeah, I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's my favorite actor of them all because for him to be able to transform comedy into serious roles that's believable.
Right.
He can play a sinister role. Then you have your Jim Carreys.
Yeah.
These are character actors.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
can blend into a person. I haven't watched I don't know, say maybe 1 or 2 Tyler Perry movies.
Okay.
But because of his understanding of theater, is I'm not putting him in no realm of of the actors that I'm speaking on but he understand it.
For sure. Yeah.
So
I feel like, Tyler Perry gets like a bad rap, like, a lot of times. I think like, because of like, obviously the Medea character and, it being like a beloved character, but people feel like that's a gimmick,
yeah.
People like, particularly in the Black community, like, tend to be homophobic, not like accepting of men, like, wearing dresses and stuff, like, being.
He went too long with it and he profited too hard off of it. And that's where the hatred came in. But see, did nobody give a fuck when Flip Wilson made his living off of it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Flip was the first nigga who did that shit and made a living, a wholehearted living. He had TV commercials where Black people didn't have nothing on television. Right. He popped up with a Coca-Cola commercial, a 7-Up commercial. You feel me? So the thing is with Tyler Perry is, because I'm not saying it's just, his shit is, I think it's more so where it's aimed to to not say demasculate the man, but it does. Because all his movies is putting the bitch in power. Feel me? Without understanding that without us, because when you come into a single parent home and there's only your mother, that's all you have, your understanding of it. But when a woman understands the importance of a man and how it, you know, it helps the raising of the kids and what you bringing into this world. And that's what's being woke up at this point that I'm thinking, to where people are saying, I'm tired of these movies where the black man is always, you know, demasculated. He's always beneath, he already beneath the white man, you know that. Now he got to be just a demon, the evil where the black women don't want him. Now there's more dykes out here and it's more punks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's cool because this nigga in a dress. You know, I can make some money. And it don't hurt nobody but us as black men to see our sons taking on this feminist shit because of his mother is the head. And she trying to teach him to be a man when she's a woman. So she only teaching him how to be her. And then the daughter that's in the house, she takes on the strength of it because she's seeing her mama holding it down. Her mama's the strongest motherfucker she see in the house. So she become this motherfucker. And then that's what we seeing and viewing in Tyler Perry movies, when every one of them got to put the black man down. There's always got to be a black villain that ain't worth shit. You know what I'm saying? Then he come this old church-giving motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That you trying to bring it to the fold in a dress. You know? That's my take on it, man. You know, but the how I view it is, they call me the Tyler Perry of the D, and I don't take offense to it, but I done 8 plays.
Yeah.
And all of them has been, when they saying, man, this is unbelievable. Because when you see the trailer.
Let me say though, like, your work is really incredible. I watched To Crush a Flower, like, you know, and just like it was really great story. I think, like, you know, people would love your work. You are kind of like, you know, in that vein of, like, you know, similar to Tyler Perry. I feel like Tyler Perry is an incredible storyteller. And like, I know people and stuff like kind of like put him down for, you know, like what you just talked about, like, you know, putting, like, you know, the black man down. But I've seen like other works and stuff, like, you know, The Peoples, and like, you know, I see like that inspiration of like him carrying on the legacy of like people like August Wilson. Were there any like black playwrights that you were inspired by?
Tyler Perry.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Perry. Listen, this is what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I'm saying how people perceive his story of why I said the projector, why they don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Because I only seen a few that I said, man, I ain't gonna watch another that's gonna appear that way. But
you should check out Peoples, like, you know, with Craig Robinson, man. That's a really good movie, man. Like,
I'll check it out.
I'll
check it out. But he was when the first time I had just got into plays, doing other people's plays, but when I think it was called The Diary of a Mad Black Woman is the one that I was like, man, his dialogue, feel me? I fell in love with Medea because it reminded me of my mama, my grandmother who's dead, you know what I'm saying? So it gave me that. But the way he was telling it, and I'm watching other people do their shit, was the reason why I said, why can I not do a story about this dope fiend that's at this gas station every day? Every day. But he used to be the shit. What happened to this nigga, man? If I was sending you Cloud 9, and that was Cloud 9. a dope fiend. That motherfucker was dogging, kicking in the ass, punching in the face for no reason, dogging him. And to one nigga say, man, leave that nigga alone, man. You remember Young Dave? Man, he used to have the dope house over there on Southern Southern. Nigga, he used to be the man back in the day. And then nigga say, well, man, how the fuck he fell off? And then he tell the story of a heart-wrenching story that led him into this motherfucking addiction or led him to giving up. It wasn't really the addiction. It's what occurred that made him say, I give up. I just give up, man. I don't care what happened to me no more. And then the people say, oh, they didn't know that.
Man, Popa Duck, like, you know, we're running out of time, but like, you know, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate your work. I'm here with Popa Duck. He's the filmmaker behind Two Crush a Flower. He's also writes stage plays. Where can people reach out to you on social media?
Popa Duck, Popaduck. All of them. No matter what you put it in, Instagram gonna pop up. You gonna see me from Instagram, all of them. Twitter, Facebook, you know, it's the Popaduck.
Definitely. Popa Duck, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate you.
For sure, partner.